1. We are now live, so hello everybody, welcome to the Bronies UK channel. I am one of your hosts, John, and I am joined with the other host, Sam. Say hello, Sam.
Everyone, I'm just playing with some putty. There we go, look.
You are pussy.
Damn, I love putty.
And we are very, very happy to come back again for another live discussion with our good friend Lawrence. Hello there, Lawrence.
Hello.
So yeah, Lawrence has joined us before. I don't know if you quite remember, because it's been quite a few months since we did I think we did a live thing talking about a Pacific episode, I think. But anyways, yeah. we need to do more of those, to be honest, in the next coming days, weeks, or whatever. But yeah, like I said, anyway, so let's talk.
This summer, I'd like to broach a subject with you both regarding MLP. It's actually in the video that I sent to you, Nosy, but I thought I might mention it here. See what you both think.
Yep.
Right. This is something rather interesting. So, right. Today, there was a rather interesting post on Equestria Daily. Somebody had reached out to one of the head animators for MLP and had asked them about Starlight's ultimate goal, because people have been inquiring, is Starlight effectively the 7th member of the main cast? And the answer has been given. Officially, Starlight is not the 7th member. Officially, Spike is classed as the 7th member of the main group. Now, this has led me to generally believe, because there's quite a bit of evidence to back this up. I do mention it in a video I sent to you, Nosy. I generally am beginning to believe more and more that Spike is actually the secret 7th element. Now, the thing is, there's a lot of evidence to back this up, because don't forget, technically, Sunset Shimmer is a 7th element of harmony. You just don't know what she represents. So the theory is that Spike is secretly, as of yet, unknown 7th element of harmony. Now, part of the reason for this, there are two simple things. Firstly, in episode 1, season 1, when they first find the elements, all 6 of the elements are on the pedestal. Secondly, the episode where Spike pretty much turns into Godzilla, one of the elements can be seen in his little hoard in Twilight's bedroom. Yep. And then finally, has anybody noticed that obviously the main 6 all have like a throne around the map with the cutie mark on it? Yeah. And Spike also has a throne right next to Twilight. Yep. I generally can't help but believe he is secretly the 7th element, and we just haven't seen it happen yet.
Well, I can kind of. Have you got your speaker too close to the mic or something? Because I'm getting feedback on myself.
No.
For some reason, I'm hearing myself through the speakers, which was weird. Anyway.
Yeah, I can hear you echoing, John.
Sorry?
I can hear you echoing a bit, so...
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm guessing maybe someone's got a microphone close to speakers. I mean, mine isn't. Mine's over here. But anyway, don't matter. Anyway, so like I was going to say, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that is true. I mean, obviously...
it would make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, because... If you look at Spike at the moment, now this is a spoiler warning, very quick spoiler thing, and also to you, Lawrence. So if you want to maybe kind of hold your hands next to your ears, it's up to you. It is kind of a little spoiler that happens in season 8.
I think it is. It got leaked last year, mate. So Lawrence might already know. It kind of got leaked last year.
Well, it got leaked last year, but not everybody knows about it. Like Lawrence won't know about it because he's not that as far ahead as we are. But like I say, I will digress and put whatever. Basically, Spike has gained his wings now, and which is a big step forward in his character development. As many of us all know, Spike. A lot of people are very uncertain about what Spike's involvement is because he started off pretty much as a big primary character back in like season 1, 2, and 3. The first 3 seasons, he's pretty much in nearly every episode. But then once you get into season 4, he starts getting less and less and less, and pretty much throughout the whole thing. It's only within the last 2 seasons, season 7 and 8, where he's kind of made a bit of a comeback. And then all of a sudden, in season 8, about 2-3 episodes ago, he gained his wings, which is awesome. And I'm really happy he's gained his wings. And he's kind of going through puberty in a kind of like a dragon puberty kind of stage, which is kind of cool because it's getting to the point now is what's going to happen eventually is Spike, because Spike's going to have like an ultimatum, because with him being a dragon, when dragons reach a certain age, they essentially leave their families and pretty much fend for themselves. That is pretty much the dragon way in Equestria or in My Little Pony. That is how they work. So, but the only family Spike's ever known is obviously Celestia, mainly Celestia, because she's kind of been like the big sister to him, as well as like obviously the surrogate. Well, Twilight's kind of been like a surrogate mother in a way, but also kind of like a big sister at the same time. So he's only known Twilight and the other main characters. He's only known those characters as like a family. So it's kind of got to be like at a point is, are we maybe at the end of the series? If season 9 is going to be the last season, if Hasbro or whoever don't say they're going to make a 10th series or they're going to continue it a few more seasons down the line, but if they want to actually, if it's true that they are going to say goodbye after season 9 or from season 9, then are we going to see maybe in the final episode, that ultimative question is, he's kind of given the option either by Celestia or by Twilight herself, or maybe some sort of.
I wouldn't look at that too deep, mate. Because that in that episode where Spike gets his wings, Smolder, obviously the other dragon that's that part of the new Six, as they're called. She tells him that when in Dragon Society, when dragons go through the molting, that's when obviously they're getting the wings.
Yep.
Traditional for them to kind of be kicked out. That's within Dragon Society. Obviously, within Pony Society, that wouldn't happen. However, on a side note, I would be interested to see if there's a possibility, like you said, of Spike maybe going off on his own. Perhaps to maybe try and find himself, because because we kind of did that in, I think was it season 1 where he goes off to the Dragonlance the first time, or is it season 2?
I think it's the season where Ember comes into it, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's season 1 or season 2. I think it's 2.
I don't think I can't quite remember. I don't think it was the first 2 seasons. I think it was either season 3 or season 4 when Ember came in for the first time.
It wasn't season. I'm sure it was before Twilight became an Alicorn. I'm sure. Hang on.
Well, Twilight became an Alicorn. Was it season 4?
Well, end of season 3.
End of season 3, right? Yes, it's been a while since I watched the first.
Season 6.
Huh?
No, sorry, not season 6. The season Ember first appears in season 6, but that isn't the episode where Spike first goes to the Dragonlands. I'm sure it's season.
One eternity later. Couldn't resist. Yeah.
It's driving me nuts now. I don't remember what season it is. see. I literally can't remember.
Well, if you can't find it, mate, don't worry about it. But yeah, it's just the whole thing with Spike for me is kind of an interesting thing. I mean, like I said, I mean, I understand that maybe I'm looking a bit too far into the whole thing with the ultimatum thing, but I know in that episode where he did get his wings and Smolder, the new dragon character, she kind of said, "Well, obviously you're going kind of fuel like dragon. You're going through dragon puberty in a way, and when dragons get to that point, they then kind of go and do their own thing." But yeah, but in that episode, Twilight pretty much said, you know, it's up to you what you want to do, but you're welcome to stay with me as well. So he pretty much chose there and then that he was going to stay with Twilight and her friends, which obvious would happen because he's still a baby in a way, and Twilight's the only family he's ever really had.
The only other thing with Spike that I feel like really needs to be addressed: what is Twilight and Spike's relationship? I mean, okay, they're friends, and Spike in a lot of ways was Twilight's first friend, but I'm making the assumption that Twilight raised him because obviously she hatched him. Yeah. So I've often thought to myself, can Twilight in a way be viewed as Spike's kind of foster mother, adopted mother, if you will? But I feel like Twilight and Spike's entire relationship needs to be addressed properly because it's never really been addressed. I mean, you get the sense that he's very loyal to Twilight and that he's got a very strong bond with her, but you've never really seen either of them. How can I put this? You've never seen their relationship be brought up. You've never really seen them explained. Yeah. You know? And I feel like they need to branch out more with the characters of those two, you know, because they're the oldest friends. And I just feel like they need to be a bit more fleshed out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, like I say, I understand. I kind of agree with. Obviously, you also know about this guy as well, Sam, and YouTuber, also fellow Brony, or part of the Brony community called Maluminous, and he's kind of hit upon kind of interesting things with it, saying like the video he did where he was talking about there's a lot of like some big time problems in the story, like gaps and like the kind of like 1 minute that you feel like they're kind of like working towards something and all of a sudden it's like nothing seems to happen. It seems like it's kind of like forgotten and the story seems to change. Such like that's kind of happened over the time period, and I can kind of understand that. But the whole thing with the series at the moment is, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking that they're purposely keeping us waiting with Spike. I've got a feeling that I think when it's either going to be in a movie or it's going to be at the very end when the series finishes completely. Well, for Generation 4 anyways, that we're finally going to see the destiny that Spike is going to be sold himself. Like, I would love it. I'm looking.
Yeah, my hope is, I'm sure before the next movie comes out, I'll get, fully up to date.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's still only seasons 1 to 5 on Netflix, so they haven't got any new other seasons yet.
They'll probably update it. They do tend to update it every year or so. There's from what I've heard, they might be updating it possibly in September, so probably in the next maybe 2 or 3 weeks, because obviously we've only got a few more days left of August. They might possibly be updating. I don't know about the UK Netflix. They might be updating it by at least one season, but the rumor is the American Netflix might be updating up to season 7, because we're always one behind on Netflix. So we might get season 6 on Netflix end of September.
Yeah, I said, oh, John, Carl says he's on another stream at the moment, but he says he might join us in a bit. If you, I know.
Well, the thing is, we are on the Bronies channel, so I don't think you'd really want to be talking ponies.
You can just throw insults at us. But where are you up to now, Lawrence, anyway, season-wise?
I've finished season 5.
So you're not too far then, really. You've only got 6 and 7. Then once you've done that, you're pretty much up to date. You'll be on to season 8. The chances are, by the time you've watched season 7, season 8 will be finished anyway, so you'll just have to catch up on that. So effectively, you'll probably be all up to date by the end of the year, I reckon. Season 9 obviously is next year, and then who knows what's after season 9? Either season 9 is the end of it, or season 10 is, because I think Hasbro will address the future of MLP next year at HasCon, because they didn't address it at Comic-Con this year.
Is that in America, or is it HasCon here as well?
No, it's just in America. It's once every 2 years. I'd love to go to it, but it's only in America.
Yeah.
So obviously there'd be Transformers and MLP there.
Yeah,
and probably Power Rangers.
Yeah, well, yeah, Power Rangers as well now. It's everything. It's MLP, Transformers, obviously Power Rangers will now be added. G.I. Joe, anything that's Hasbro, really. It's quite a few things that are Hasbro related, but I don't think G.I. Joe's really a thing anymore. I don't think they do anything for G.I. Joe anymore.
I don't see much. I don't see much G.I. Joe stuff around these days.
No, they kind of tried to relaunch it, didn't they, with the G.I. Joe Renegades show that came out probably about 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah, they tried to rebrand it, but like I say, it didn't really do as well. But I did hear rumors that they were thinking of either bringing back either the toy line or trying to maybe do like a new TV series for Mask.
Well, yeah, I heard about the Mask one, actually. I'm not sure if it was a TV series or if it was a toy line, but I heard the same thing, that apparently they're going to bring back Mask.
I've never actually watched Mask, the cartoon. I remember...
Well, I lie. I only ever saw the like I had when I was little. I had like the first 3 or 4 episodes on video, and that was about all I ever saw of Mask. But you can get the whole thing.
Yeah, I know it's not the same. I remember the cartoon of The Mask. You know, the character of the Jim Carrey film. I do remember watching that, but I know there's a cartoon called Mask as well.
Yeah, well, the thing is with Mask, all it was kind of like it was a hybrid between G.I. Joe and Transformers. You know, it was kind of right in between the two franchises, because
the theory is that Mask was meant to be set in the same universe as G.I. Joe.
Yeah, they were basically like sister organizations.
Yeah, because isn't Venom meant to be somehow have some connection to Cobra? Because Venom were the villain of Mask, weren't they? And they're meant to be Cobra.
Yeah, apparently Venom is supposed to be kind of like a side organization of from G.I. Joe. And obviously the good guys are supposed to be like a side thing of G.I. Joe as well. So it's in the same universe, but apparently the theory is that it's all in the same universe. Even Transformers are in the same universe, hence why they've done crossover comics with G.I. Joe and Transformers. So the theory is that the whole Transformers thing, G.I. Joe and Mask, are pretty much all within the same universe. It would make sense, Mask being in the same universe as Transformers, because you could kind of argue the point of that they actually got the transformable vehicles, probably got the knowledge from the Transformers, from the Autobots.
Well, I do know that they have done a Marvel crossover where the Avengers meet the Transformers and also meet G.I. Joe as well. Because there's a special crossover comic where the Mask G.I. Joe, the Autobots, and the Avengers all kind of meet, and it involves Tony Stark actually fighting Megatron in an a big Iron Man suit that's basically the same size as the Transformer.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be good. Well, that's all. I didn't know they'd done that. I know Marvel did a Transformers comics, but did some Transformers comic range. But I was at TFN last year. I remember asking Bob Budiansky, "Do you think there's ever a chance we'll see a crossover between the Avengers and Transformers?" And he said no. He said he thought he thought it'd be interesting, but he said no. He didn't think it was ever going to happen.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has, because the thing with Hasbro in general and the general world of comics is you could do crossovers to quite a lot of stuff, but crossovers within like a TV series isn't as easy because there's more copyright to it.
Yeah, and plus, don't forget is that the thing is, Transformers has gone through a lot of different labels over the years as well. Because obviously, you had the Dreamwave era, you had the IDW. So they had the IDW era, which is kind of like coming to an end now. And then obviously you've had the Marvel UK, Marvel America comics era as well that the Transformers has come into. So the problem is making some sort of cameo with, say, like the Avengers, and bring the kind of the Avengers or any sort of the Marvel comic book characters. It'd be very difficult because it's going to be interesting to see what the future of the Transformers comics is going to be like. Because is it still going to be continued under the IDW brand, or is it going to get picked up by a different comic book label? It'd be interesting because I don't know if it's all I've heard is that the current IDW comic series, which is Lost Light, which is kind of like James Roberts and Nick Roche's stuff, that has finally come to an end. They think it's completely wrapped now, and James Roberts is actually leaving the Transformers comic books completely now. He's actually moving on to different stuff, which is fine, which is good. So it's going to be the Transformers comic books are still going to happen, but it's going to be different writers and different people at the helm. So it's going to be interesting to see what the future brings. Because even though I'm not going to speak too much about Transformers on this feed, because obviously it's My Little Pony, but like I said, what I'm going to say is that roughly what I've been hearing is that there's kind of a 50-50 divide with the comic books that we've seen over the last 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years. The whole started with Last Stand of the Wreckers. I mean, Last Stand of the Wreckers is a fantastic comic book series. I've read that; it's brilliant. And if anyone else hasn't read that, I urge you to, because it's brilliant. But then they made a sequel series, which is Sins of the Wreckers, which apparently a lot of people said just didn't really. It wasn't as good as the other one. And then it went into another series called Lost Light, which is the series that's wrapped at the moment, or is finishing, which is the last one James Roberts and Nick Roche are doing it together. And apparently Lost Light is pretty much kind of lost a lot of people's... It's kind of very confusing because there's a lot of different elements going into it, and it's kind of...
the one where Megatron's now an Autobot?
Yeah.
See, yeah. I don't really follow the comics. I literally... the only comics I've got Last Stand of the Wreckers, All Hail Megatron, the RC comics, and the Transformers Armada comics. That's about it.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I've read some of the live action comic book side stories, like the prequels and sequel comic books that they did, like for the 07 and 09 movies. Well, for all of them, but I mean, I've read a few of those, and I've also read the crossover one that they did with was it Mars Attacks versus Transformers? I think it was like a really interesting cameo crossover comic book that they did. They did it for other franchises as well. Kind of like big comic book characters. They kind of did big cameo things with different things, which was pretty cool. And obviously, the only series I've read from start to finish is Last Stand of the Wreckers, and I've not read anything past that. I mean, I do have some IDW stuff, some of the IDW classic. Well, I did have some of the IDW classics, but I sold that recently. And then obviously I've got some other graphic novels behind me as well. But the whole thing, the thing is with comic books is I just don't know where to start and where to finish. I just kind of. It's kind of like you've got the Robots in Disguise comic series, which went on for a while. Then it kind of goes into like another series, and then you've got all these other like branch off series that are kind of relate to each other. And you kind of like, where do you start? It's very, you know, that kind of thing. It's like, where do you start with it? But anyway, so let's not talk Transformers for the whole stream, because we're probably going to get some angry Brony saying, "This is a Brony stream." But anyway, so
yeah.
So Lawrence, how far have you got? Any a little bit further since last time we spoke about the show, like episode 1?
No, I mean, I should probably. I need to get back. I need to get back into them. I mean, I'm looking to see if I can, you know, watch the episodes anywhere other than Netflix. And I know they're not all out on DVD yet. So
yeah, they've just released season 4. They're releasing season 4 very soon officially. So in the UK, in the UK we've got the first 4 seasons on DVD. I haven't seen season 4 in HMV or any other stores yet, but I got an email randomly. I got an email from Amazon saying, "Oh, you might be interested in this kind of thing." And I looked at it and thought, "Oh, brilliant! They're actually releasing an official season 4 finally." So I've got the first 3 seasons on DVD box set. But I obviously I'm going to pick up season 4 when I can afford to. But yeah, anything else you want to talk about MLP wise, Sam? Anything that's been kind of eating at you, interesting you?
how you got your Sunset Shimmer there? Oh,
she's upstairs in my room.
What about the cushion you bought this year off Nick?
Oh yeah, that's. I've got both. I've got 3. I've got the MLP ones and the Transformers one down here. Well, all my MLP stuff now. Moved upstairs.
Yes.
Are you going to get any more plushies, John?
I'm thinking about it. Before we went live, me and Sam were kind of talking to ourselves about plushies and that, and I mean, I've got, as you can see behind me, I've got Tempest and Rainbow Dash still. I've got Spike as well.
You got Spike.
Yeah, so I've got Spike, but I am thinking I would like to get myself a Sunset Shimmer, what Sam's got. I'd like to get a Trixie as well, what you've got, Lawrence.
That's the one I got. That's the one I
Yeah. I want to get Trixie because, to be honest with you, does anybody know if they've released a Starlight Glimmer yet?
Yes, but the only place you'll get her is eBay. You won't be able to get her from Build-A-Bear anymore.
That's what I mean. All I care about is if she's available. Yeah, basically, I'd love to get Trixie and Starlight because those two are becoming quite an interesting little twosome, if you will. They've become really good friends from season 7 and season 8, and the episodes where it's just Trixie and Starlight are some of my favourites so far. They really are very funny, and they're just so good. They're so good as characters. They're just bouncing off each other's energy, and
that's the idea, you know, because basically they're both kind of previous villains in a way, and they're both very similar.
I like Sunset. Is it season 4 she comes in again? I think.
Sunset is the equestrian girl. She's pretty much.
No, we're talking about Starlight, which is the one that came in end of season 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, Starlight Glimmer. She started off as a villain in the end. I think the ending of the final two-parter or something of season 5.
Yeah, that's Sunset.
Yeah, that's Sunset. Yeah. But yeah, so Starlight, she came into it for the first time in season 5 as a villain, and then she kind of got reformatted, or whatever you want to call it. I say reformatted, whatever, by the power of friendship. And from season 6, she pretty much was when she actually properly she was good. But it's kind of interesting. I kind of hit upon this. The Friendship is Fan Base Facebook group, a kid was kind of just expressing his opinion about Wallflower Blush, who is a new character that came into a 45-minute special in the Equestrian Girl side. I personally really like her character, but for the most part, she is quite popular with the fans, but it's kind of one of those things where some of the fans found her very bland and very uninteresting, but at the same time, some people found her quite relatable, and I personally found her really relatable. But to be honest with you, the whole idea is what I'm trying to come up with Wallflower Blush is it's exactly the same situation when Starlight Glimmer first got announced, or first came into the show. And to be honest, I got the kid who actually originally made the post. He fully agreed with me because it's exactly the same scenario that we're dealing with Wallflower at the moment. Basically, as I just said, Starlight Glimmer came into it as a villain. She was not as well received as a villain. She wasn't the best villain for me, and for a lot of the fans, she wasn't as well received.
Isn't she more just like kind of the comedic sort of villain, as in not in like a serious threatening?
She was more, to be frank, Starlight Glimmer was probably out of all the villains that they've been into it, was probably the most down-to-life, realistic villain, on the grounds that what she was trying to do was kind of a combination of socialism, clashed over a bit of communism, clashed over with a bit of the Third Reich. But she wasn't exactly a villain, and though I would state she became more of a villain in, was it season 5 finale or season 6 finale where she tries to basically alter time. I can't remember. I think it was season 5.
I think it's season 6. Because she gets introduced in end of season 5, end parter.
No, it's 4.
I thought it was season 5 that she first got introduced.
I'm sure it's season 4. I don't know.
Not season 4. It's season 5. She gets introduced at the end.
Yeah. Sorry, at the start of season 5.
No, end of season 5.
No, it's the start because it's the start of season 5 because it's the very first place that we go.
Sorry,
the maps of them is her village. It's the end. It's the end of season 6 where she tries to alter time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I mean, she was a villain to a point, but I agree with what Lawrence is saying. She wasn't kind of like Queen Chrysalis. She wasn't as kind of sinister as her. She was just kind of like this character that was very confused, and she kind of wanted everybody to kind of be the same as her, or kind of like, I don't know, kind of this weird thing where she kind of like removed all these ponies' cutie marks in her village, and they all became kind of like equal, like the same. Yeah, it was kind of. She, like I was trying to say, is she wasn't as well received compared to the other villains that came before her, and her as a character wasn't really received well at all in season 5. But then when she got into season 6 was her proper time to shine, so to speak, the full-on proper first series, and people just generally really didn't like her at all. And by the end, I think near the end of season 6, people's opinions started to change. She started to get really accepted, and really people enjoyed her as a character by the end of season 6. Then season 7, she stepped up a notch, and I personally love Starlight Glimmer now. I was one of those people that didn't like her to begin with, but now I love her. She's like one of my top favorite characters of MLP at the moment. So she's kind of progressed really well. Her character has really brought out or helped bring out a lot of character development with other characters, other side characters, plus herself, like expand herself as well. And her story arc at the moment, right up into it's still into season 8 as well, because she's still kind of very much there. She's very, very important character at the moment, and I love her now. She's brilliant. But getting back to Wallflower, why I think it's a similar situation is that she has only been in one special, 45-minute special, and then that was it. She's only been in it once. And I pretty much just made the query to this guy saying, like, I love her. I personally really like Wallflower Blush, but it's exactly the same situation we found ourselves in, like with Starlight. People didn't like her to begin with, now love her. So I think this is exactly the same situation. I think you need to bring her back again. You need to bring her back again, rather than it just being a one-off character. She needs to come back a couple more times to redeem herself. Maybe now she's not bad anymore. She essentially, the power of friendship or whatever in the Equestria Girl side has now made her see the error of her ways. So she's now an average normal person being accepted by her classmates now. So she's a different person. So you could probably bring her back again and see how much she's changed. And then hopefully people's opinion may change. End of the day, everybody has their own opinions, which is fine. But personally, I find it's very unfair to kind of be very judgmental about Wallflower Blush when she's only really kind of been in it once. She's a character that I personally really liked. I really enjoyed her because Wallflower, she's a very relatable character to me. She felt she wasn't being a part of the school. She was kind of forgotten by everybody. Nobody really interacted with her. I felt sorry for her in that regard because I know exactly what that feels like. And it's kind of like she's very relatable to a lot of people within the fan base. Damn, stop stroking your toy. Because all I could see when I was talking was you stroking the silver thing.
It's putty.
But it looked like he was. Anyway, this is probably a PG-12 version of this. I don't know. Anyway, so
we could go full out Brony if you want and talk about some of the images you were sending me the other day.
No, because that'll probably get me. I don't get monetization anyway, so it won't get me demonetized. It'll probably get me shut down. But yeah, so like I said, I mean, I really do like Wallflower Blush, and I really enjoy Starlight Glimmer. I like both those characters. It's a very similar situation between the two characters, but in my opinion. But that's the thing. I mean, I find it's very unfair, really, that they bring in a new character, and a lot of the new characters, the fans don't seem to really respect much. It's kind of like. Sorry, but when it's sorry,
side characters are a really important part of the franchise because they play as really just as big a part as the main six.
To a point, yeah. To a point. I mean, there is a couple of characters for me that generally, if they wasn't there, probably wouldn't make much difference. But they're there because they are inhabitants. They live in Ponyville, so that's why they're there. But yeah, I mean, like I say, I would like more stuff in it. Hopefully, maybe. Well, I don't know, to be honest. It's like I'm hoping, because I still can't get my head around the whole thing of it's going to end in season 9. Because to me, if that is true and the rumors are true that season 9 is going to be the last season of G4, then it don't make sense to me, because there's still so much in the planning pipeline. Yeah. It don't make any sense to me.
I think it largely just depends on, I say, the altogether future. I mean, I just wonder if there's anything at the moment being said. Let's see. Right. So what have we got present here? Let's see. I've no idea. I mean, at the moment, there's nothing effectively stating the future, so to speak. I think it's just too early. Yeah, just way too early. The thing is, some of the leaks that came out that are supposedly leaks for Gen 5, I'm 90% sure that they're actually leaked. They're actually early concept designs for the film. And some of the designs that have been released have kind of been confirmed that they're actually early concept designs for Gen 4. So I think it's too early to really guess or even assume what the future will hold.
Yeah. True.
So that's worth pointing out. Find the image. Somewhere. Because there's an image in the art of book for the film, and it's worth showing because it basically, one of the images in here is an image which is basically has kind of been quoted as a leak for Gen 5, but it's not a leak. Right, here we go. It should be on this page because it was linked to the sea ponies. Here we are. Right. I don't know if you can see this, but top right corner. See the white kind of hippogriff with the big wings?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That image, there's been a similar image that's been leaked of Rainbow Dash with the same wing design. And I'm convinced that is not a Gen 5 leak. I'm convinced it's possibly early concept art for Rainbow Dash for the film. Because the wings are the same as in that picture.
Maybe. I mean, personally, I don't really see why she would change into it changed that drastically, to be honest. Unless, because obviously I remember that there was a toy line that came out. Was it last year or year before that kind of showcased Fluttershy and Rarity and all the other characters as actual Alicorn princesses?
Yeah, it was Build-A-Bear.
Mm.
There was actually a really limited run at Build-A-Bear of Applejack and Rarity, I believe, as Alicorns.
Yeah.
And Hasbro were real kind of quiet on that front when people asked, are you teasing something? Is this going to happen? But they never really answered. But yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's just it's making me wonder that are they kind of getting at something through. I mean, maybe not. It might not be canon. It might just be one of those things that just, kind of to appeal to other people. Is there something different? What do you think? I don't know, but I mean, it kind of makes, because I do know there was a toy line, not just Build-A-Bear. There was actual toy line that came out as well, that actually kind of kind of redesigned the main characters completely as princesses, but they were like action figures, not actual like plushies. And I remember seeing a couple of them in my Asda where I worked. I remember seeing them a few years ago, and I thought, that's interesting. But they may be just playing with different ideas, different concepts, and obviously with it being a toy line as well, you know, like even like look at Transformers. There's so many different types of Transformer toys out there that have no relatability to the show itself. You know, they're just there because it's a toy. You know,
it's all about making money off it, though. They make more money by selling merchandise because they'll probably put, you know, they can probably, you know, make any version of a pony, and they'll still the kids would still buy it if.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah. I mean, end of the day, you know, MLP started off primarily as a toy line, and then the TV, the cartoon back in the 80s kind of came after the toy line. Exactly the same with Transformers. You know, Transformers is primarily a toy line that just happened to become a TV show later on. Mainly when mainly when Hasbro and Takara.
I suppose by making it as a TV series after the toy line begins, it gives them a way to, you know, promote more of them.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, it'll boost its popularity.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, like I say, at the end of the day, it is a toy line. It's probably just an executive decision at Hasbro somewhere. And I thought, you know what, you know, why don't we try this? Try that. That's how it works in business. You know, you try different things to try and get interest and keep it going as much as possible. You know.
But the thing is now is, you know, the characters in MLP Gen 4 look more like fictional sort of ponies, you know, rather than them being like back in the 80s when they started as a toy line. They were colourful, but they did look like normal ponies.
Yeah.
Was they made him look a bit cuter, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, like back when the franchise started, they were very. The design back in the 80s was very, very interesting and very kind of would give you nightmares kind of feel. Yeah, it was compared to now. It's a massive difference. I mean, Lauren Frost, or Frost, whatever you want to pronounce it, you know, when she developed My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, she pretty much from scratch completely redesigned the whole world, the characters, everything was completely redesigned. And she grew up with the original 80s toy line and the 80s cartoons. Sorry?
I remember that in that documentary.
Yeah.
Talking about it when she decided to rebrand it.
Yeah, so she pretty much apparently the world of Gen 4 is pretty much her imagination as when she was a kid. That is how she imagined it with her toys and everything. And then she kind of later on she kind of wrote down her ideas and kind of like when she got older and she's been in the cartoon industry for many years, and she just pitched it to Hasbro, this new revamped world, and they loved it. They just pretty much threw money at her, so yeah, we invest in this. But then I think she only stayed with the show for the first 3 seasons, and then she kind of left.
Yeah, she did. Well, the thing is, effectively, Lauren, because recently she was like on Twitter doing like a Q&A thing, and somebody basically put up a couple of pictures of later characters, like, you know, like Sunset and Trixie, and no, not Trixie, like Starlight, and she didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
I mean, she's really good as Lauren Frost, but the only thing, she does have a history of kind of not completing what she started. There's been quite a few, cartoon series over the years,
like Powerpuff Girls, and
yeah. I mean, she has a habit of stepping down after maybe 2 or 3 seasons, and then the company in question will just take over.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've heard that was Maluminous mentioned that as well. In a video he did about a month ago, I think. Um, yeah, it is kind of strange, but I just think she's just one of those professional people. She doesn't want to be tied down to a specific project for a long time. A lot of these people, a lot of these artistic types in the industry, don't want to be on a project. They want to kind of be maybe like helping out on this project, creating this new idea. They want to be kind of circulating the ideas and contributing to different things. I mean, like Lauren Faust, she was the character designer alongside the pretty much she was like you could say she was like a co-creator of Powerpuff Girls. The main guy who created it is the same guy who created Samurai Jack. But then obviously Lauren Foss kind of worked with him on Powerpuff Girls with mainly the character designs and everything. But she didn't stay on that show. She obviously went off and did other stuff because it wasn't really her show. She just developed the characters because she's a character designer. That's what she is. She developed the characters and a bit of the background, but yet the show itself was actually created by I've forgotten her name now. Sorry, his name. Sorry, I've forgotten his name now. But anyway, the guy who created Samurai Jack and Powerpuff Girls, anyway, it's the same guy. But anyway, but yeah, it's one of those things, It's just one of those things, I don't think she's meaning it in a bad way. She was, she loves the fan base. She goes to conventions still. She's still very much a big part of the fan base and part of that kind of thing. But I don't think she's taking it personally. I think it was either maybe she took a decision of her own that was a very hard decision because this My Little Pony thing, the Gen 4 was kind of her baby. It was her creation and her child memory that she made a reality in cartoon form, and her to come away from that obviously would have really upset her. But I don't know whether maybe Hasbro was kind of wanting her to leave a little bit and saying, don't worry, we've got this kind of thing. We don't really need you anymore. But I think Maluminous hit upon this point, and I kind of agree with his point in a video that he did a bit ago, where he said that apparently, he thinks that she was only really there as like a liaison in a way, a creative input. So pretty much all these other artists and all these other people that were working on that I was working on the show at the time, and the directors and the producers and so on, she pretty much showed them that she stayed there for the first 3 seasons and kind of established the world, the characters, helped them establish what the feeling of the show, and then pretty much left them to it from there. She pretty much gave them the foundation of what the show was and what the characters are, and then left them to it. That's pretty much what I agree with what Maluma said on that fact with that. I don't think she left it because she doesn't like it. She does like it. She created that world, but I think she pretty much was only there for the first 3 seasons to kind of establish the world and the foundation of the show, and then let them go from there with it. Because at the end of the day, Hasbro don't like the middleman, if you know what I mean. Hasbro have been well known to not like their middleman, and Lauren Foster was very much that person. So they will try to, if possible, try and chuck money at them or try and get that person away so that they've got full creative input on whatever it is. That's Hasbro. Same as Disney. They purchase stuff so they've got full control. I'll be surprised if Hasbro get bought out by Disney.
No, I don't think he would buy out Hasbro. I think Hasbro are the type of company which would rather stick to themselves, and plus Disney.
Yeah.
If Disney bought out Hasbro, that I think that had stretched Disney too much, because realistically, Hasbro own a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that came out in the 80s that Hasbro still own, but no one's ever heard of half of it, because it only lasted like a season. There was loads of like Transformers style series coming out, and like G.I. Joe stuff, and even He-Man stuff that was all similar but all owned by Hasbro. I mean, Hasbro. Well, they own quite a few companies that produce board games. Now I can't see Disney buying out Hasbro. Besides, Disney only buy out things which will make money in the film industry. Realistically, Hasbro don't own anything that would be big in the film industry.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I just kind of hope that we finally get kind of some sort of an announcement, hopefully next year, whether season 9 is going to be the official season, last season, or they are going to continue at least for another season or two, because quite frankly, I keep saying this and I keep mentioning it, and I just can't get my head around the decision of ending at season 9, because it's a bit strange to finish at season 9, because I don't like odd numbers. I like even numbers.
They should do just.
Yeah, I don't like it when they say, like I don't know, 7 seasons is going to be it. I'm like, why 7? Why can't you just increase to 8? And I know that sounds stupid, but that's my OCD coming in there. But I don't like odd number. I don't like it when it's like an odd number where it ends on, and also the other stuff that it's coming into as well. You still got Equestria Girls is still going to continue past Gen 4, and that's got massive ties to the pony side as well as the human side, so that's all connected. And then obviously there's meant to be another 2 or 3 theatrical movies in development, and then obviously because they've got to have something to establish the movies from. They've got to have something to, like the first theatrical film that was in development back from the first 2 or 3 seasons. It was in like the very early stages of production, and then obviously it finally got released last year after like loads of different versions and different concepts and everything, but that was piggybacking on what we've already seen within the last up to season 5. I would say it was piggybacking up to season 5, and so it had to have some sort of a stamp ground or some sort of foundation, which was the series, to kind of allow the movie to work. So the next movie, we don't know, because I've heard rumors that they're going to be maybe looking at a prequel film. Could the next theatrical film, could it be a prequel film? If so, that would make sense why season 9 will be the end. Or because I've heard there's going to be like another 2 or 3. I've heard in total there's going to be like 4 theatrical films in total based on Gen 4. So I mean, obviously, we don't know if the next film's going to be a sequel to last year's film, or if it's going to be a prequel. And then obviously we don't know what the other films are going to be afterwards. So you need something in that gap. It won't make any sense at all to just say, right, we're making theatrical films, but there's no series. We finished at season 9, so it won't make any sense. You know what I mean? It makes sense to have a series for it to work upon. So it's like some sort of a foundation there. So, because like I said, I mean, season 8 is essentially, you could say, is a continuation of what happened after the events of the film. And then, obviously, it's not really gone into that anymore. I mean, there's a couple of returned characters from the movie in the first part. They went back to the sea ponies. Went to their domain or their place or whatever again. So they kind of revisited there. They haven't really the other characters haven't really come into it. Like Tempest hasn't come back yet. Kappa hasn't come back yet.
Still thinking about bringing Tiffany Shudder back, aren't they?
Yeah, that is a genuine rumor that she might show up at some point.
I personally think she's going to come back at the season finale. I personally think she's either going to be in the season finale of season 8, or she's going to be in the season 9 beginner. Because she's going to be a big character. She has to come in at a very crucial point in the story, or something big has got to happen for her to come back. Because she's still there, you know. Because in the first episode of season 8, they're kind of filling in, they're kind of pretty much talking to Starlight Glimmer, because Starlight Glimmer, she didn't go on the quest with them, because obviously, you know, originally when they were producing the movie, Starlight Glimmer hadn't been created yet. You know, so that's why she wasn't in the. Well, they put her in the movie to make it canon.
Yeah, she's in the opening song, and she see it briefly with Trixie. And that pretty much makes it canon. And not to mention, episode 1 of season 8, they directly mention the events of the film and also mention Temper Shadow. So yeah, the whole, as I said, it's canon.
Well, yeah, that's it. You know, it makes it. They just kind of tied it together so that, you know, she was there to make it canon.
Which it doesn't surprise me, because they did the same thing with the '86 movie Transformers.
Yeah.
Season 3 literally picks up right where the film ends. So
yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, like I say, it's just. I just think it'll be a really stupid decision on Hasbro's side if they decide to say, right, season 9's the end, when they've already confirmed they've got a hell of a lot of stuff in production, in early production, or literally about to start production. So it's like, and obviously the Equestria Girl, the human side of the spectrum as well, that's still going, that's still strong. They're still producing like a web series, plus they're still producing special 45-minute specials. So, and apparently I've heard rumors they're going to be doing a movie, an actual proper big movie for the Equestria side as well, Equestria Girl side. So there's still a lot, and plus they connect on both sides of the world. So the human world and the pony world, they're both in massively linked. So you need something for it to work. You need an what I would say, an anchorage. You need an anchorage. You need something for it to, like a stable foundation, in order for any of this to be viable and for this to make sense with what they've got planned. You know, you need. So that's all I've got to say. I mean, it don't make any sense, but I personally think we're going to find out next year, hopefully, that if there's going to be any more. Obviously, we might find out more information on the actual sequel, or if it's going to be a sequel or prequel movie coming out soon from the 07, from last year's film. So I'm hoping next year's going to have some big announcements. Either it's going to be SDCC, HasCon, or New York Comic Con. It's either going to be either of those three that are going to have the big reveals.
Well, we'll see. I mean, they'll no doubt they'll have some plans. And to be frank, I'm taking a lot of the rumor mill with a pinch of salt, because some of it's too far-fetched to really be accurate.
Yeah,
a lot of it is just based off hearsay and like a couple of leaked images that don't really tell you a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, like I say, a lot of these leaks. I mean, I think the only thing that has actually been confirmed is likely for Gen 5 is the world, how the world layout's going to be. I think that's the only thing that has actually been confirmed as true. But the character designs and everything else hasn't really been confirmed yet. No, Hasbro haven't confirmed it's true. I mean, these are leaks. See, apparently, a lot of these leaks has been literally by, I think, maybe one or two individuals that have somehow come into contact with some emails. Apparently, Maluminous made a couple of videos over this past week. And he kind of mentioned about some of these rumors that have been coming out for Gen 5 as well. And he names one individual specifically. And this person is either, I don't know how the hell this person has actually got access to these leaked emails. But if you remember, do you remember that massive big cyber attack that happened like 2 or 3 years ago? Do you remember it, Lawrence?
Yes.
Yeah. There's like a big cyber attack, and they basically went after Sony. They basically went after pretty much every big media outlet or media production company, and a lot of big projects were actually leaked to the world. Stuff that there was either in production, about to start, and stuff that had like maybe about a year or two down the line. And there was like scripts, concept art, everything was leaked to the masses. And I'm thinking a lot of these leaks were probably some of these leaks. Apparently, Hasbro was also leaked, hacked as well. And yeah, apparently, I've got my theory is a lot of these leaks that we're seeing, or these concept arts, they're probably really, really early concept arts for either, like you said, Sam, the first movie, or they are really early concept arts of maybe like Lauren Faust's artwork, you know, when she was kind of like playing with ideas before she finalized the look of what they are now. It could be anything like that, because any concept art will be owned by Hasbro, and they will have it in archive they'll use it as maybe they'll keep it in their library. They'll probably have like a vault or some sort of library vault, or either online or physical. Because Disney have something similar known as the Disney Vault, and they have literally all the original cells and everything from
they do. Yeah. Whenever they remaster a classic, that's what they always do. They always get the original prints out. And
yeah. So, like I say, I mean, Hasbro almost certainly will have like an archive somewhere with their past stuff, the stuff that like concept art and stuff like from the finalization of it all as well. So you probably find that a lot of these leaks for Generation 5, they're probably just really early concept designs for Gen 4, or they are possible ideas that they're working with for the future of the brand, but they're not finalized yet.
Yeah, I'd agree on that. I'm convinced some of it is just leaks from early concept art.
I mean, this is the problem. As soon as something like this happens, shit hits the fan, and a lot of people's common sense goes out the window. It's kind of, I mean, I'm not hating on anybody. If anyone's watching or listening to this, I'm not hating. I'm not gonna, be that person with my finger pointing at you specifically. I'm just, making a point. Oh, Lawrence is gone. Anyway, I'm just making a point. It's common sense, you know what I mean? It's common sense, it's weird noise. Yeah, but anyway, it's common sense. You can tell by a lot of these like artwork leaks, storyline leaks, all these things. You can tell these are possibly big time conceptual. Probably we don't know how conceptual. We don't know if they were like very early conceptual, where it's like from like before the series actually started to wear, and before very early days there, or it could have been maybe early movie concept art, or it could just be like Hasbro have had. I've got artists working on ideas for the future of the franchise for like Gen 5, Gen 6, or whatever's going to be down the line. You don't know where these concept art or this concept stuff came from. We don't know how far it's been, whether right from the beginning or before the beginning, or pretty much, that kind of. I don't know. But you can't really put a finger on it yet until it is officially all announced. And they haven't. I mean, apparently there is going to be a Generation 5. That there is going to be. That's been confirmed. There is going to be a Generation 5, but
it's a natural progression. I generally think, to be honest, it makes more sense that Gen 5 will start in 2020. You could still effectively have a 10th season of Friendship is Magic in 2020 and still do Gen 5, because if the rumours are true, the rumours are that Gen 5 isn't possibly going to be online and it's going to be aimed at all the fans. I don't know how true it is.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, apparently the only two things that I confirmed is that there is going to be Generation 5 after Gen 4, and the world environment of that it's going to be split. It's kind of like piggybacking on an earlier idea concept.
Yeah, Gen 3, I believe. I think there's a similar idea.
Yeah, where they're all going to be like separate. They're all going to be part of like separate parts of other. Because I've heard rumors as well. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but apparently a lot of time travel could be involved.
Mm.
So, like a lot of the different races could be on from different planes of existence as well. I don't know where Lawrence has gone. He's just 1 minute he was there.
Maybe he's having an internet connection. Maybe. But yeah, but it depends, mate. I mean, the thing with any franchise, there's always going to be rumors and whispers about the future of them. So, actually, I wonder. Might be a bit too early, but it might be worth a quick look. Go check some of that. It's probably a bit early, but oh, why not? Right. Probably too early to tell, but it's worth a look. I don't know. Let's see. Right, okay. If anything, it might be listed here. Right. I was just looking at it because I know Lionsgate were the distributors, producers for the MLP film, but I was just curious to see if maybe they've got anything listed for a sequel, but there's nothing showing. But then, to be frank, it's a bit early, really. I mean, if there is going to be one, it might not even get announced for another year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were just the distributors there.
I don't know if I think Lawrence might be back. He's kind of like re-emerged on Facebook Messenger. To be honest, I think we might maybe see about either 10:30, 11 o'clock, maybe call it a night.
Well, just to let you know, they've confirmed that I didn't know this, that the next Hellboy film, which is a remake, is out next year.
Right.
And they've confirmed, but it's out January, so it's literally just after Christmas. And they've actually confirmed it's going to be 15 rated.
Cool.
Right, so Hasbro Studios. Upcoming films. So they've confirmed that they're going to be doing a Beyblade film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Hasbro. They've also got a mask. Bring back mask.
The what?
Mask. Yeah, Hasbro. They've confirmed they're doing a mask film. Mask, as in mask, you know.
Oops.
Interesting. Yeah, there's nothing listed that I can see, but again, it's too early.
Yeah.
I reckon it will be Hascon, mate. 'Cause it makes sense that Hascon would be the time to announce anything.
It would, and plus it's been every 2 years as well. 2019, well, I don't know. It's going to be interesting because it kind of depends when it's going to be held. Because usually a new series usually is it April? It usually starts.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it won't be April. I'm guessing it'll be maybe near August time.
Well, that's a wait and see, mate. I think it's just a bit too early to make any speculation. But I think we might well know something by next year's Hascon.
Hopefully.
You heard back from Helga yet?
No.
Well, you might hear something this week, hopefully.
No, not heard anything. I haven't heard anything from anything, to be honest. Other jobs I've applied for, anything like that, I've not heard anything.
I'm sure it will do, mate. It just takes time, doesn't it?
It does. But I'm kind of concerned, are they going directly to Asda for a reference and not going from a referees on my CV? Because I've not actually been given an actual reference from Asda, and knowing Asda, I think they would be really saying stuff that ain't true or sticking to the whole issue, their side of it, because maybe because yeah, I don't know. I may be looking too far into it. They maybe haven't even got to a final decision yet. I don't know, because a lot of the jobs I've applied for are still kind of in. Some of them are actually still, up and haven't closed yet. But then there's been a couple that have closed not that long ago, so it might take maybe a couple of weeks to hear anything from some of those.
Well, it's always time, mate. Yeah, it's partly time.
Oh, dear me. Hopefully Lawrence might be coming on soon. Here he is. Just as I say it.
You're right.
All right, man.
Yeah, sorry, I went into my search bar and accidentally went into YouTube by mistake, so that's what cut me off.
No worries, don't worry about it. I've done it plenty of times on these things.
Easily done, mate.
Yeah, because I completely forgot a couple of times where I've like logged out of the YouTube channel I was doing the live thing from, logged into another one, and it just completely terminated me on my side. But luckily, it was still happening. So luckily, I managed to log back in and to the one that I was thinking on, and it nothing really. Anyway, it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
So, anything you'd like to talk about MLP wise, Lawrence? Is there anything you'd like to talk about, or do you want to talk about?
I think I've discussed everything really. I'd like to really. It's
What do you think personally? Do you think Do you think season 9 will be the last season of the show for Gen 4, or do you think it'll continue?
Yeah, I think it probably will. I mean, I'd say definitely. I mean, I've got a lot of catching up to do still, so.
True.
Just depends. I would definitely agree. Time will tell.
It will. It will. I mean, like I say, I mean, I've been, I am being a bit optimistic, or, hoping that there will maybe be more than 9 seasons, because, like I said, you need some sort of stable foundation in order for a theatrical movie based upon the series to work, unless the next film's going to be a prequel, then I completely understand you don't need, with it being a prequel, you don't need a series specifically to anchor to, because with it being a prequel, it's a storyline that's probably not been mentioned or has been mentioned but not been answered, or they're not gone into it in the series. So a prequel is a bit different, but if it's a sequel to last year's film, you need a series for it to anchor to, or something to work towards. I mean, like I say, I mean, the next film's not going to be out until maybe next year. I mean, it's been in production all of this year. So I'm guessing we'll probably get a teaser trailer probably in the new year to it.
Yeah.
Probably in the first 2 or 3 months, and it'll probably get released again roughly the same. I'd say roughly the same time as last time. They probably might release it. Because the problem is that it's releasing it in a month where there's not going to be as much competition, and next year there's going to be a lot of big films coming out next year. So obviously you've got you've got Part 2 of Infinity Wars. You've got I think the sequel to Spider-Man. I think sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming's out next year. You got Captain Marvel. You got a lot of big films coming out next year as well. So they're going to have to really come up with a year where they might, it's going to be beneficial for them box office wise.
Yeah.
Because it did actually quite well. It did really quite well for box office wise, the 2007 film, the last year's movie, because the way that they did it is that I think it released in America first, then Canada, and then it kind of went Europe. So it released in Germany before it came to the UK. Then it came to the UK after Germany and the rest of Europe. Then it came to us. And then from there, it went to like the other countries like China and Japan and so on. So the way that they kind of released it was kind of like a strategy, because they released it slowly but surely within like a week or 2 week time frame in different countries. So you've got released in the UK, released in Germany, released here, released there. You get that injection of interest, because obviously it's a big thing, really. It's a big phenomenon, is the Brony, the MLP thing. It's a big phenomenon, and it's pretty much the show's been dubbed into all sorts of different languages over the years. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful that I think I'm certainly hopeful that we probably might get more than 9 seasons. It's not been confirmed season 9 is going to be the last. It's not been confirmed. Nothing's been announced of it, of any more. So I think at the moment, I think maybe Hasbro may be evaluating what to do, and also obviously they've got like other things, like obviously they've got like another 2 or 3 theatrical films in production, or they want to do, because when last year's movie got announced, it was coming out. It got announced back in 2016, I think. It actually got announced, and obviously we got a trailer. I think a teaser trailer at the very end of 2016, early 2017, last year. So when it got announced officially, it was kind of like, what was it? I think they started production of the next film roughly not long after last year's. So I think pretty much as of late last year, and then big majority of this year, it's been in like pre-production, with like obviously the voice side, like the voice actors side, and then you've got the music as well. But I've not heard anything of the music yet. I've not heard, no, because obviously Daniel Ingram does the music for the series and for the movies, or for the movie. So
would you still consider going to a? Yeah, would you still consider going to a Brony convention if there's one still to go to?
Yeah, I'm up for one. I think it all depends, obviously, with my situation at the moment. But if I can hopefully kind of put a little bit of money away, kind of like start putting like a little bit away each time I get a payment, I'll get something. I want mind to maybe see about going to the one in Scotland, because the one in Scotland, literally, I've heard it's the best one that we do within the United Kingdom.
Are you still going to Benidorm, John?
Yeah, still going. Yeah, cancelling that twat because I've paid, because it cost me over £700 in total.
Yeah.
I cancelling that for nobody. Plus, I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to it. I mean, to be honest, yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, the whole, Benidorm was completely all booked and paid for well before this whole situation happened with me at the moment. So, I think I'd fully paid off like 2 months before I essentially got told, lost my job. So, but it's all been fully paid for. I've told Job Centre. I told them about it, so they're cool about it. Well, at least it comes over they were cool about it. But yeah, so it's all paid for. It's all inclusive. I don't know how much money I'm going to have like spare cash, but end of the day, it's all inclusive, so I don't have to spend anything at the hotel, which is good. Hopefully, knowing our luck, we'll be like, oh, it wasn't all inclusive after all.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys have noticed. I don't know if you've noticed it, Sam, or you, Lawrence, as well. I posted on my Geeky Info page. I shared it on there, and also I shared it on my normal Facebook page. TF Nation are doing a big meetup thing in London in October.
Really?
Yeah. It's called. I think they're calling it TF Nation. I can't remember what they're calling it now, but they're doing an official meetup in October. It's Saturday the 6th of October. I can't go to it.
Yeah.
Because I fly. I think I fly home on the 4th or the 5th of October from Benidorm, so I won't be able to go to it at all. And plus, I can't really afford the London trip at the moment. So, I was thinking about going. I literally had to double check and see when I was flying home, and I thought, well, I was going to go on the Megabus again, because literally the Megabus is like, it's like under £9 for a return, which is ridiculously cheap for London. There is like one change, but you know. But I was thinking about going to it. Sorry?
Would you consider going, Sam?
I wouldn't. Maybe it just depends on, I suppose, pricing really.
Well, like I say, Sam, if you wanted to go by Megabus. It's literally, it's like £8.60 or £8.80 or something. Their price from Hull to London. There's one change, obviously they have to change because it's a very, quite long. It's like under 6 hours duration. It's like 5 hours 55 or something like that. But the earliest one I saw was, I think, 10 to 8 in the morning, and then it gets into London for about 12, half 12. Well, that's the earliest one, and I think the meetup's around about 12, half 12, 1 o'clock for people to meet up. But if you're interested, Sam, I'll send you the link. But yeah, I mean, I only noticed that I was just browsing through my Facebook wall, and it came up with TF Nation and said, I've been reading this, said, you know, conventions are really great places to meet new people, new friends, and it's always quite painful for the whole like wait for the next one. So they've come up with this idea of kind of doing like a meetup in October of this year as well. So I'm hoping it's going to be a yearly thing. So they're going to do it next year as well. I mean, the problem is with London is it's. Like I said, there's the Megabus, which I'm actually going to consider doing in the future because it's a lot cheaper than the train. But hopefully I might be able to get myself sorted out, get myself another job, and then in the meantime probably see about it next year. But like I said, it'd be too much of a rush for me to do it this year because, like I said, I think it's on the 3rd or the 4th of October I fly home. But I could do it because, like I said, I mean, I could do it because it's like I'm home like 2 days before, before the 6th. But it's gonna be, I don't know how I'm gonna be money wise, and plus, like I said, it's a London trip, so you have to pay like 2 or 3 times more for everything in London, like your food, your drink, and so on. So I don't think I'll be able to really enjoy myself even if I did go. Because obviously you pay more for beer, you pay more for your food, you pay more for generally anything in London. So I mean, I'd love to go, but like I said, I just simply can't afford Benidorm. Well, to be honest, you know, Benidorm's a problem at the moment. I don't even know how much money I'm going to have for Benny as well. But luckily, it's all inclusive, so I don't really have to worry about cash really. I mean, I'm going to try and see if I can take some money with me, as some euros with me, just so I'm not always in the hotel. But anyway. But what we're going to do, me and Smithy, I don't know about Matty. I met Matty that's going with us, but me and Smithy, we're literally just going to be drinking that bar dry. We're going to be taking full advantage of that all-inclusive bar.
Good man.
But again, it's also because obviously we go in September, so we don't know how hot it's going to be, because apparently September it's a bit cooler in Spain. It's a little bit cooler than it is like say June, July, August. They say it's a bit cooler, but we'll soon see. I mean, I'm going to pack myself some other Factor 30 or Factor 50 sun cream. So, because I've got really light skin and I'm liable to burn really easy. But anyways, what do you want to do, lads? Do you want to maybe call it a night?
Yeah. Well, it's been great to talk to you guys. And what about you, Sam? Are you?
I can off. It's no worries.
Well, like I say, I mean, it's 10 to 11, and plus you're at work. You're working tomorrow, right, Sam? So
yeah, I'm back at work.
All right then. Well, we'll end it now then. So thank you very much to anybody that's maybe watched us. This has been the Bronies UK. Me and Sam here from the Bronies UK channel, featuring and alongside Lawrence. So thank you very much, Lawrence, for coming on. It's been fun.
You're welcome.
It's been a great little catch up, and also I just want to say very quickly, very big thank you to the latest subscribers to this channel. I've noticed we're at 14 subscribers so far. So thank you for those people that have chosen to subscribe to us. So big thank you to that, and more stuff will be coming very soon. I know there's a video that Sam's sent me today or this evening that I'm gonna look through and get uploaded within the next day or two, or as soon as. So there's a new video going to be coming to you soon after this. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching. Anyone like to say anything before we turn off?
You're all awesome.
You're all awesome. I'll see you all soon. Been great to talk to you guys. I've missed you all since I've missed you guys since TFN and everyone. I kind of wish I was still there.
Oh, I do. I mean, like I say, we'll be doing more of these live streams in the next coming days or weeks or months. Obviously, once Lawrence has got a bit more further into the series, we can then talk a bit more about like a group discussion on certain episodes as well. But anyway, so thank you again, Lawrence. Thank you, Sam, for joining us tonight, and thank you, most importantly, to you guys for watching. So until next time, stay awesome, and see you soon.
Yeah, see you later, lads.
Bye.